I've not seen this shirt somewhere.
Your unit?
Yeah.
Call this meeting to order, if we could, please.
I'll tell you about it.
The minutes, we'll suspend the minutes at this time. We had a couple of documents that need to be corrected as per your all's direction in the last court meeting. And that was a fair stuff. We finally got it corrected, I think, the last couple of days. We did deal with that. Bills list. You guys received a copy of the bills list, the additional bills list. I didn't even notice Randy was missing.
Don't want me out.
Okay. Any questions on the bills list?
Did we get an additional bills list?
No.
There wasn't.
We could have found some probably.
I seen one on the jail fund, but wherever you at.
Excuse me?
I seen one on the jail fund, the jail and toilet and laboratory, $3,500.
Commodes, the new commodes at the jail,
Right.
stainless steel, security.
There's two of them that are disrepaired, they need to be replaced. The jail inspector wanted them replaced. And Brian researched on them, he got them for half the price of his cut. Granger was gonna be double that.
It's kind of like the ambulance service. We're just not picking on you, but anything that's a
Yeah, specialty item.
specialty item.
I don't know where you were going there.
Well, you get fussed at some, so now the jail's getting fussed, not fussed at question. A good question though.
Make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
And transfers,
Yes.
transfers in the back stage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bills and transfers, Berners.
Yes.
Is there a second to Berners' motion?
I'll second the
Second by Eric. Further discussion, questions? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next will be your sheriff's 2020 budget. Guys received a copy of that by email. I handed out a couple of copies. I went through the line items. I do not see overall not a real problem with what the sheriff has presented today. I will make a couple of points so you'll know. He's looking at on the particular increase where it says deputies gross salaries line item number 2, actually line item number 3 on the budget. That's a 7% increase there, but he's taken $49,000 out of line item number 5. And
Did you want a second?
Which is what, overtime?
no, which is other salaries.
The civilians. Okay.
And then the CLEF fund's the same, the Social Security retirement, just to let you know, the county pays that. That's generally an amount of about $230,000 or $40,000, I think, in the fund. So that's not in his budget. We've continuously done that over the years, going back and dating 30 years, 40 years ago. The sheriff didn't have enough money to pay for those kinds of things. So fiscal court pays for that. I'm doing this more for the new guys, so you can understand the sheriff's budget a little bit better. And the county's done that repetitively for decades. So he doesn't have a line item in his budget for retirement and Social Security.
The sheriff's portion of the hazardous duty retirement, 28,000. What is it? What percentage is it?
That's a small, it must be just
Yeah,
one or two employees. Would that be courthouse security probably, Rhonda, maybe?
I don't know what it
It could be.
Might be him alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be, yeah, I have to go back, Jeff, and look at that. His salary alone, a year, 90,000?
92.
90 times 4, that's 36,000 a year.
Hazardous duty retirement is about 12% this year, about 45%.
It will be next.
Will be your
Next
coming year.
fiscal year.
Yeah. I'd have to check the actual line item on that and see what we're paying on that.
All right.
Because if you got $1 million worth of payroll, like we do at fiscal court, then you're looking at approximately, I've always rounded it off to $400,000 a year for retirement. On top of that.
Over a third.
But that's non-hazardous.
40%.
So just because I'm new and I can't quite understand, how do you pull $49,000 from your part-time gross salaries and add it to the What does that signify?
Could eliminate somebody in the office, could have started some new people with lower salaries. I don't know, that you asked the sheriff that question.
Probably some of the deputies that you hired have been retired and don't pay.
No, this is the office.
There was $249,000 that was set aside for other salaries. We did not use the complete amount, so I moved $49,000 to salaries.
Year-to-date, but he doesn't have it broken down there on the year-to-date. I mean, I've got a separate sheet that you don't have.
I see.
He's got all the salaries in one big lump sum. So I
Well,
really
did
can't
you do
separate.
away with an employee?
No, I hired a retired, that we will not be paying benefits.
Not in the office there, though.
No,
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 that's why I'm talking about. The other salaries are generally your office staff.
no. We had Dell retired. We replaced her with a lower paying salary. And we moved other spots like the part-times for the taxes.
Really, that makes sense. I mean, I have no problem with that, really. As long as it goes forward that same. And by the way, year-to-date, what, the sheriff presented the budget about year-to-date, he's on target, year-to-date.
Total expenses, is that 7% increase, is that what you said, over, or is that just?
No, that was just that one line item.
What is, how does it compare to last year as far as total expenses?
On that line item, he's budgeting $600,000.
On total?
On total, it's about 50-some thousand total over last year, about 58.
So it's like
53. 53, okay. I was just going on memory.
2%?
53. So, again, I find really no faults in the sheriff's budget.
I'll make the motion we approve it, if there's no any other questions.
Motion on the floor, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by Keith, now further discussion? Anybody have a discussion? All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Thank you all. Jeanette's going to present hers at our next January meeting.
When is the,
That don't sound right, January, does it? It don't sound right, does it?
when does that have to be in?
It's usually by the end of December.
The fee base?
But some of the fees come in January. It's happened to Lane and Phyllis over the years.
When's the jailer's got to be done?
We do the jailers.
We do the
That's
jailers.
in 1st of April.
I got you.
Okay? We'll move on to the rural secondary road program. You guys received a resolution and a contract for some additional blacktopping money for the county, an amount of $286,100. We announced that, I believe, a couple of weeks ago. These are the contracts and resolution related to those. Any questions? Otherwise, entertain a motion to approve the resolution and contract and authorize me to sign both documents. I was wondering who's going to. The motion been made by Gary, second by Eric. Now further discussion. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove? The motion will carry. Next would be landfill solid waste reports.
Okay, so we had a committee meeting this morning to discuss a few items. Basically, our roll-off department over the last 5 or 10 years, basically our business has doubled. We have 135 boxes, and since I've been here, we bought 28 new boxes, about a 26% increase in boxes. So basically, we've been covered up over the last year or so and needing help to get those turned and exchanged. So what we discussed is basically buying some more boxes and getting another person on staff and another truck to help us keep up with the business, keep up with the demand.
We're looking at landfill annual revenues about little over $2 million, right?
The gross revenue?
Yeah.
About 2.7.
2.7 is gross
I go show you how I lose track of time.
Right.
So over the last 2 or 3 years, I've noticed and I've gotten actually complaints on this issue, by the way, from several contractors. We have not been able to provide them with roll-off dumpsters. In many cases, they're having to wait a week or 2 or 3 to get the dumpsters, and that's been consistent the last couple of years.
I've never received the first phone call. Have any of y'all?
Over the roll-off boxes?
I can give you names and phone numbers.
I know, I heard you, I know one.
The 2 or 3 of them in your district. Right now, within walking distance of where we're sitting right now, there's probably 6 or 8 dumpsters within walking. That's how much demand there is for those darn things. We're talking about the big roll-off boxes, open top, that they use construction sites and other operations. They're about $4,000 each. We charge $2 a day rental. They'll pay for themselves in 4 to 5 years, depending on what size it is. Plus, the whole idea was when we got into the roll-off business was to secure the garbage coming to our landfill. That was about 1994, 5, and 6, right in that era. And what was happening, other private companies were providing that service, but they were taking the garbage to other counties. So what that did, that took the revenue away from what we needed to pay our bonds and pay our operational costs. And so we got into the business, and it's paid off, and it's kept the flow of the garbage coming to the Nelson County landfill. That was probably more important than anything. I would recommend buying 15 new roll-off dumpsters in various sizes, and then buying a new truck and hiring a new individual for that position. Because we service Marion County as well. Now, John has sent you a lot of documents over the last week or so. Anybody have any questions? Committee, you want to report on the committee? Help me out, man.
I think he did a good job of what we talked about. That's a problem that I believe it's been, it'd be addressed for a while. You see, there's a lot more out there. You take staff's recommendation on, or estimates on how many turns you'll do in a day, even if you divide that by 2, it's absolutely no-brainer to me as far as financially. I believe we got money in the budget for it. It'll pay for itself very quickly and generate profit within 5 years. I don't see how it can.
And we're getting ready to, we're not going, this county continues to grow, and I like that we were 29,700 people. We're at 45,500 people now, and they're projecting us to go to 50, 55, and 60 in the real near future. And that will continue to, that need will continue to be there.
But based on the information that we talked about in the committee meeting, I'm completely for it because it will pay for itself in the short term, actually.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're in the business of providing that service, you got to be able to provide that service. I mean, I haven't particularly had, like you said, a constituent call me from my district, but if you think about my district, it's not, you're not seeing a lot of commercial growth over there. You're not seeing a lot of that kind of, I mean, you do see new construction, and you do see, and I have seen competitors roll off over there, and whether they got put in our landfill or not, I don't know.
We don't know that.
But as this being one of our few money makers, I think it only makes sense to me.
These boxes last over 20 years too. So we have one of our boxes we're working on now from 1997. So we'll put a couple $100s in it and last hopefully another 5 to 10 years. So they pay off in 5 to 6 years, depending on what size box it is, and they'll last another 20 to 25 years.
With everything else, there are pros and cons with everything. The cons, if it slow down the economy, you're going to have less revenue, you have boxes. But the pros, they are 20 years old. They'll increase our revenue, which will increase the bottom line. So that's what we're looking for.
And we talked about other aspects of the landfill. If it were to slow down somewhat, the same fellow or girl, whoever we hired, would be able to assist in other duties at the landfill, and that's hauling dirt to cover the garbage, which we're continuously behind and working overtime with, and hauling rock and others from the IMI gives us this big chunks of concrete. We get a lot of that to use for cover and roads, building the road into the landfill. So it's got a multi-purpose as well.
The capital outlays of the boxes and the truck, I think, are a very easy decision. Just the employee that was a long-term risk on it, but I don't see much. I think
Motion in order?
yeah, I'll make the motion.
Wait a minute, I'll go.
Yeah, okay, yeah, go ahead, before we get to the motion.
Jeff, brought it up and thing, maybe we ought to try for the next 3 or 4 months, because the building is gonna slow way up, and it's probably not gonna be as busy with the boxes before we hire an employee. Do the next 3 months, just do a little, because I heard somebody say in February that that's when bulky item starts. So if we could go to the bulky item pickup with this guy to see if it is gonna be beneficial, just to get a rough idea from going by the boxes, and I don't know, I'm like Gary, the economy's gonna slow up some.
It has in the past.
We're getting them wet, and then here we're gonna hire an employee when the economy's slowing down. I don't know, just, I think we'll
It'll
wait a little while.
Take us 2 months to get a truck.
But I think the pros outweigh the cons. I mean, the bottom line is.
We talked about that, and I
heard you. I thought it was a good idea.
Well, you know, the bourbon industry's generating a lot of this too, and I don't think the bourbon industry's going anywhere really, and myself. I mean, they're
We have a lot of boxes going to the bourbon industry.
Turn the warehouse into a
We
warehouse
have-
down.
We turn.
Basically, like the new construction
They are gonna
warehouses, you got
They're doing
other,
it now.
like demos and stuff, we have all this new construction in the distilleries and warehouses we have. It was in that email, the percentage we have in those warehouses. And we have projections, talking to different guys that are gonna do more demos too, so that's a big part of it. It's starting to be a big part
We're a
of it.
blessed community, let me tell you.
Amen. So let me ask you something. So what are you suggesting, Keith?
Well, we talked about a part-timer, right? That's what he was talking about.
Okay.
A moving from the road department over that we're getting ready to go into snow season, bulky item pickup, and the committee thought, we just discussed that, but we thought going forward, Keith, we probably at the solid waste programs, which by the way, we've probably gone through 4 or 5 employees in the last 12 months. You know, you have a little more turn in the garbage trucks. We could transfer him over there if he got super slow. And hiring him, you'd have to acknowledge that.
What's an employee gonna cost us?
It's about $75,000.
I thought you had 80 on your thing.
It basically
Depends
depends
on
on, you got their
what needs.
base salary, it depends on what insurance they have, whether they got family plan, whether, so.
$20,000 difference.
You know,
That's
the
very-
the problem is, there's no part-timers out there. Everybody who want to work, has got a full-time job,
That's
especially
true.
in the trucking business. They got a problem now getting drivers. UPS is begging for them.
Yep.
$35 an hour.
Good question, good
It
question.
is a good question. And, you know, it's just like the private industry. I mean, if something happened to Ford, well, they'd have to lay people off if they got into decline when they were getting upside down. I mean, not that the county's ever had to fool, that may not ever have to fool with it, but, I mean, that's just part of doing business as well.
This is a little bit different than our normal service we provide because it is, we're only sole provider of a landfill in our county and Marion County. We serve 2 counties, by the way, on this, so you know. A driver takes off here and he goes to Marion County. John, how long will it turn?
It depends. I mean, it's a couple hours, it might take 3 hours by the time you get, like, especially if you got a compactor, it might take an hour to get
That
there.
report showing how many turns.
Half an hour, 45 minutes to get there, and then come back, and then empty the box. But sometimes you got their self-contained packers where you got 2 trips. So you get one pack, you gotta go over there empty, and hopefully we got a delivery and drop off on the way. Pick up that box, bring it back to our landfill, take it back, and then hopefully we have a pickup on the way back, but a lot of times you don't. It's a lot of scheduling, but it just depends.
And actually, we did pull back the number. They wanted 20, and we pulled back to the
I seen
median
it,
number
back
of
to
15.
I'm like y'all on the boxes, they ain't going nowhere. It takes 20 years for them to rust down. I mean, you know, how many boxes, do we have any boxes sitting out at the landfill right now?
Actually, we have a couple right now, but they'll get ready to go. We had about 3 demos going on last week. You got all these big boxes finishing up, and now we're starting to send them back out.
I rode out there the other day, I counted, I think there was 4 there that day. I
Yeah,
rode.
and but then you also gotta look, we got turn boxes too, so we'll have like 2 of each side. So basically, we gotta have empty boxes that are sitting, like, we try to keep 2 30s, 2 20s, and a 39. So if you need a box at your house, we'll take it empty. When we got sitting, take it to your house, grab your box, drop the empty one off. So you'll see
You gotta
some.
have extra for turns.
Oh, we don't have what they call a dead run. You take, that's
Mhm.
probably why you saw 4, 5, 6.
Mhm.
You need to have that spare to take it with you as you go.
And we've been down to where we didn't have any spares too. We were we were borrowing from people we'd already promised them to, call them up, say, man, can you spare that box for a week? Because they were working on a project for themselves, redoing a house or something. They said, sure. And Joe's good about doing that.
These boxes are, the one you're talking about getting, are they all the same size?
I would get just a couple different sizes. Basically, we would need 2 boxes to replace our pit boxes. They're 39, and then we can get any other arrangement of 30s and 20s.
30 is your best size.
30s is what we have the most of, so I'll get the majority of those 30s. Some of the 20s they'll use for like some of the smaller home remodels, stuff like that, or to do concrete. You don't want to use a 20-yard box for concrete because they'll overload it if you use a 30 for that. So the majorities are 30s though.
I seen one full of concrete the other day, man, must take a pretty good winch to pull it up.
We've had to call a couple times to get them to unload some boxes with those but
Motion in order.
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of 15 boxes, a no roll-off truck, and advertise for hiring an employee.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second by Bernard. Now, any further discussion?
I just want to say, one thing I thought about, I kind of thought that way too, Keith. I was a little, I draw back a little bit on hiring another employee, but the way I look at it, he could always float. I mean, if God willing, we ever got another boom mower, we could run 2 of them.
Christmas is a week and a half now. All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. Got 1 weak eye down there. Motion carried.
That's a big purchase there.
Okay, just
Anything
one quick thing, Christmas schedule, we'll be closed Christmas Day, we'll be open Christmas Eve, but closed Christmas Day and New Year's Day, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will all be a day behind, it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
We just say, I received yesterday in my mail, my 2 free passes to the landfill. I got to the mail before Katie got to it, so I could pull them out. And then we got the bulk item pickup thing in the mail yesterday as well. So keep out for that, everybody, if you would need to help us with that. I appreciate it.
And John, you're done for a year.
No, he's coming back.
He just started.
We're coming back later from the
He's been busy, ain't he?
That's cheap, right?
You have to look at each purchase separately, it's standalone issue, it should justify itself.
Road Department reports. I'm going to save you there. Lee, speak up a little bit, Lee.
Clean out culverts throughout the county. As you noticed in the last month, we've received quite a bit of rain, so those problem areas kind of show themselves real quick. We did do 2 culvert replacements on one on Yates Cooney Neck Road and one on Wilkerson Road. And we repaired, some problem shoulders on Wire Lane. During heavy rains, these shoulders kept getting washed out, so put some co-mix asphalt in there to try to keep those from washing out. We did finish rock and shoulders on Murray's Run Road after that overlay. And we did last week send 3 additional guys for pesticide training to get their license. You brought up boom mowing. We definitely want to get the spraying operations going again, because that'll help slow down a lot of this growth that we're having problems with. And last, we've been patching potholes through various roads throughout the county. Continue to do so in the winter. Our new truck came in, we got the plow on it, got it back yesterday. There's one more valve that we're waiting on so that it'll lock the plow in place. So I would say in the next, by the end of this week, that truck will be totally ready to hit the road and go. I think Bernard's seen it. Barry's seen it.
It's a nice truck.
Barry's been down, so.
Truck and all that. Good.
Talking about that boom mowing versus the spraying, what kind of liabilities are involved with that spraying?
Yes.
Just
So here's the idea and concept, and we send people to training for this. So this is the thought process. We boom mow, and 3 years later, we're going back the same road that you guys asked for.
Right.
I mean, it's a pattern. So it's crazy to keep doing the same thing over and over, right? So we're trying to send people in to figure out, okay, when we boom mow, and the state does this, what can you spray on that area to retard new growth? We're not looking to kill the tree. We're trying to retard the growth of the new stuff that comes back. And so that's the reason we send them to training, to make sure we're not doing something that kills trees, kills fish, whatever. And I mean, it's stringent on the paperwork that they require for that. So before we plow forward into this and step into something we didn't want to, we sent some guys on training. We already got 2 guys, so we want to do 3 more, so that anybody who would possibly be out during that operation has been trained on the yeses and nos of what to do. So when you say that, I mean, there's liability in everything we do.
Yeah,
for sure. And Eric, the guy that invents that for the lawns of our world, he will be a rich man on it. Just mow your lawn and spray it one time a year and it's done.
It's done.
Jeff, have you been in that training?
Where it wasn't killing.
Kentucky Department of Transportation puts on an excellent class for that.
Yeah, I need to
Highly
check that
recommend
out.
it.
Yeah, I need to see that.
Vegetation removal in general, and they do have chemicals to retard new growth off the road. And they do it routinely,
Yep.
particularly in the fall when it doesn't make it look bad.
Mhm.
And give you a head start in the spring, you don't have to fight that new growth right at the beginning.
Gotcha.
I got the name of it somewhere, but I can't find it off the top of my head.
Same here, Jeff.
EMS report.
The month of November, our guys responded to 557 calls. Out of those 557, 126 were non-transport. That puts us at 2,884 calls since July the 1st. That's a big number.
Thank you. Jail report.
As of this morning, we had 140 inmates in county jail, 48 for state, 92 for county, 44 waiting for circuit court, 48 waiting for district court, a total of 107 males and a total of 33 females. And we did got 2 pardoned out from the governor left office yesterday.
One of our good workers.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions? Recreation report.
The girls' basketball season is now over. The boys will start their regular season the first weekend of January. And starting January 1st, Little League Baseball will open up registration for the spring.
Okay. Off the top of your head, how many young people play baseball in a season? I mean,
And in our league,
in our league,
800.
does that mean? And girls and boys combined?
Yeah, 800, probably a little below it.
That's quite a bit.
And then how many play soccer? I mean, it's like 3 times that number, right?
Probably close to 1,000.
Okay. I
Or a
thought it was
little
more than
over,
that.
yeah.
Wow, it's really grown. Okay, under old and new business, want to report that our Feeding America program for December will be tomorrow. We moved it a week in order to accommodate the Christmas. Last month, we had over 600 families come through and get boxes. That's up about 120 or 30 families. Guys are welcome to come out for spend an hour or so with us. Elected officials luncheon at the chamber Thursday. You guys got an invitation. Just make sure you respond, RSVP back to the chamber on that. And got news yesterday that the Ford Motor Company is going to credit the county $750 for every one of those police cruisers that they're late on, which means we'll get a credit on our bill on that. So that's very nice of them.
On 8 of them?
On whatever, we ordered 6, we cut down to 5 when it changed, but we've already got, I've already told them to order them for next season, and we're gonna get credit on those 2 if they do take them. So work that out. You guys have any other business for the court?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want, yeah, go ahead, Pete.
Go.
No, go ahead. No, you first.
I would like to do something about these reflectors on 31E. I'm just getting flooded with phone calls. Last night was terrible. Laca. Yeah. And the paint, they've done painted the 31E from Bardstown to New Haven twice since it's been paved. And it's just, I mean, you can't see nothing.
I agree.
And it's not just my age group, it's kids. It's probably our police force, our ambulances. I mean, it's terrible.
The paint is terrible.
We've addressed that with the transportation cabinet over the last 2 years, and it was all budgetary cuts at the Frankfurt level. And maybe if we all were to ask Senator Higdon and Chad McCoy to, if every time you see them, said, please put it back on there, please put those reflectors back on there, maybe they'll do it. Because I have written letters, I have requested the same that you're talking about, but as a unit, we might be a little more significant. Now, we do have a new transportation secretary, Secretary Jim Gray, and I think he will be open-minded and at least thinking through on it. Ex-mayor of Lexington, yeah. He's the new transportation.
He's the one who built Ty Summit down.
His company, his family company. Built several of them, Tire Automotive.
Maybe we might have a plug in then.
I wonder, do you think that they would be able to put a little black top on the east side of 62 from Bardstown to Bloomfield? 'Cause I'm getting a lot of calls on that.
Yeah. You just pray for blacktop, you don't think it's striped or not, huh?
Eric, I appreciate that. The east side is my area, so I appreciate you.
Whatever, it needs to be addressed, it's horrible.
Okay, so I know today that all these police officers are not here to wish us a Merry Christmas today. I had to say that. And I know the sheriff had something he wants to address with the court.
In the past week, or I emailed you guys a proposal for the guys to get a pay raise. We're competing to our next door agency of the city of Bardstown. These guys are paying that are married and have children are paying $2.33 per hour more on insurance than the city is. We pay $630. They pay $114 coming out of their checks.
And it's going to 225, Greg did confirm that over a period of a couple of years.
Over a period, this year it went down from 130 to 114, okay? That's just one. For the past 2 years, they've gotten a cost of living raise and they've gotten a stair-step pay raises where their guys are making nearly $5 more an hour than these guys. They cover 11.7 miles in the city of Bardstown. These guys cover 424 square miles of the county. We serve papers in the city of Bardstown. We take calls for the city of Bardstown. So I would suggest that you guys really think about this and put it. We have saved this year, the last 6 months, in salaries to over $22,000. I calculated at 31% on their retirement. It's 34%. So I under-calculated 3% for those hours that they were not worked, due to guys leaving the agency and being replaced at a later time, which I explained on that email. Also, we just hired a new guy that's gonna save somewhere near $33,000 on not paying retirement because he's retired. We're not gonna be paying those benefits.
Or his health insurance either.
Or health insurance. So we're saving quite a bit of money. Next year, for the full year, he'll save the county $68,000 or better. So the money that we are saving is there for these guys to get raises. Food for thought.
Let me address that. We have and will continue to consider, no, let me go back up in history. When I got elected in 1993, took over in 94, the sheriff's department had 4 guys and the county police department had 5. Then you had a chief. And for the last 25 years, we strived to make sure that police officers can make a living without having to go out and mow grass for a second living unless they choose to do so. And I think we've come a long way. I'm not saying that we don't have room to improve. But I have other departments as well that have needs as well. The health insurance is beyond our control unless the court wants to start. Our health insurance is based on all of our experiences. It's not a random thing. It's based on real experiences. And Raymond, I have and I continue to look at how can we make this work for you guys. And we had to do it a couple years ago for the ambulance service because we were losing a couple of paramedics to the St. Joe Hospital and a few of the other hospitals because the law changed where they could work in the hospitals. But I assure you, each of you guys, that it has been looked at, it's not being ignored, and we will continue to improve.
It's just hard to get.
I can't make a promise I can't deliver on, though, Raymond.
I get that, but at the same time, we just opened the process, and it took us quite a while for the process to finish out.
What process is that now?
Hiring.
Okay.
And I had guys that were retired out of Louisville Metro and pulled their names because of the pay.
How many of your deputies, let me back up a little bit so Eric and Gary understand better how we fund the sheriff's department.
And let me interrupt real quick. I want to iterate that we are very, very fortunate. Nelson County is very fortunate. When I go to the sheriff's conference, there's counties that they don't have what we have. We have a luxury, but at the same time, we have to take care of that luxury. You can't drive a Lexus on an unpaved road and continue to drive it and think that you're gonna drive a fancy
That's
car.
when we buy Ford Explorers.
We can buy Yugo. I'm past beyond those things, but let's buy vehicles that we're gonna have and they're gonna be durable.
So, Gary, you guys, Fiscal Court funds 17 patrol officers. We've got, over the years, we've approved 17 slots. Sheriff, in his budget, he's got 7 slots. I call patrol. There are other people that have within your department. So, over the years, we continue to grow the Sheriff's Department, probably not the rate that the rest of the world would like to see. And I think overall, up until the last year or so, we've done pretty good. Now, the city's taken and started hiring. They've got 7 of their officers. How many do you have retired?
2.
2. They've got 7. So they're saving 7 times, I'm going to put 50,000, they're saving $350,000 a year on benefits. If we could get to that point, it would make the job much easier. But I'm working on doing some things, I promise you, but we're not in that position yet. If you had $300,000 to $350,000 savings by hiring those retirees, you can afford to give your guys some more. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You understand that, guys? And we want to help. I mean, these guys, I mean, they got families just like we got families. So just be patient, please. And not all guys have left because of salaries. Some of them have left for other reasons, and I won't get into those details, but they have left for other reasons. That's my opinion.
I think one sticking point, Judge, is the cost of health care. I mean, so much difference. And
The city's got a great plan. I'd like to have that plan.
Like Keith and I discussed a few months ago, I think we need to look at KCO, different companies, in order to get the cost down. I know.
Let's look at, what we've got to look at is not the broker. You got to look at the plan.
You have to look at both. You have to look at the plan and.
Yeah, Judge, when it works in 113 counties out of the state of Kentucky.
KCO does not sell health insurance. They're a broker for
I know, but
Exactly.
all the other counties.
But the law says in Kentucky that health care providers have to provide every broker the same quote.
But the broker's percentage may be less than what.
Cannot be. It's set by law. That is set by law.
Can you explain why City of Bardstown
Because they're self-insured. I presented to court a self-insured plan, Bernie, you remember several years ago, several times.
So KCO's not self-insured then?
No,
Oh.
not on health insurance.
Right.
On everything else they are.
I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? Bardstown went to self-insured when Ed Meese and Bill Brown was mayor. Ed was the city administrator. And we were not big enough at that time. Now, I don't know what they've invested over the years to get to that point out of tax dollars. I really don't know to get to that point and to be able to offer. They've got a great plan. Maybe I need to talk to them and see how they're doing it. Maybe the self-insured would be better than what we're doing on health. Health insurance is a completely different animal than general liability and workman's comp. And I do know quite a bit about insurance, about the hard knocks, 27, 30 years of experience with it. It will eat you alive, though, on the self-insured that we don't like.
Well, I just urge Fiscal Court to keep looking into this, because we have a great group of guys that are serving our county, and they do an outstanding job.
Nobody's denying that.
I know, but, you know.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do. I will go to a self-insured group. I'll advertise it. And they'll make you a presentation, and it's gonna look good on year 1 and year 2. But you can't buy health insurance 1 year to the next without looking at the long-term effects.
Well, Judge, it's just like anything else when we bid a truck.
It's different. No, that's different completely.
Well, how is it? Because when we bid a truck, they bid it. Sure,
Okay.
2 years from now, it's gonna change. And we
1 year.
understand that.
1 year, you can change on health insurance.
Well, 1 year can change on a truck too, but that's why we bid it out, to get the best deal, I think.
But so our health insurance rates are based on the experience. If you have a automobile this year, you got it insured, you have a crash that year, and you go next year to renew it, what are they going to do if you had a $30,000 claim? Probably going to jump your premium, aren't they? Health insurance is the same way. And we've had some bad losses on health insurance. I'm one of them. I'm on medicine's real expensive. But we've got a group of people like that, and I'm not going to call names. I can call myself because I'm the
We just keep growing, and we listen to fiscal court talk about how it was growing, and it's growing and growing the next year or so by 5 to 10,000 people, and I'm not
Not
asking
your,
for
we're
it.
not gonna grow that fast.
Well, in the next census, we'll be over 50,000.
No, we won't.
I would
Next
say
census is this coming year.
this upcoming
We
year.
will not be 50,000.
Over 3,000 people coming into Nelson County since the last one? I think so. We respond to more calls. We continue to do the job with more people. One of the magistrates even said that they would be willing to give me another body. I don't want another body. I want to take care of them, and we'll do the job. My job was to put more people on the road, and that's one of the things that I ran on, and I did it. I didn't ask fiscal court for more money to put the same guys that were working under the same budget, and I put more guys. I put one on days and I put one on nights, and it showed. People from New Haven all the way from Bloomfield to Fairfield, anywhere in the county, they've called and said, great job.
Nobody's disagreeing with that, Ray, at all.
You know, just on this subject, you know what my thoughts are on it, man, because, you know, when I was a lineman at the city of Bardstown, I had to take less money. I could have went to Salt River, and Junior Hire was in the position to hire me at one time. I wasn't willing to step back as a groundman and get hired in. I could have made $10 more on the hour in the private sector. And when I went to try to get more money from me and my guys, it was always brought to, well, what's Paris making? What's other municipalities the same size? What are their linemen making? So that's the data that...
Just submitted for data from CAECO. There's 11 counties that are in the same rate.
Well,
We're at a minimal, at a medium rate of $22 and 23 or 33 cents.
Right.
When the highest paid is 26. All I'm asking for them is to make $24.
But now, there's a little misleading when these reports come in too.
Then why
Some of
ask
them
for it?
report, every police officer that is in the system gets $1.92.
That doesn't,
On
should
that.
not count towards anything like
It
that.
does count because taxpayers are paying it, Raymond. And we have to pay retirement on it. But
It's
that being
incentive.
said, it's still money in their pockets. We've worked hard for you, and we will continue to do so.
It's frustrating. We started this back in July of this year, and here we are.
And you'll get an answer, and you will get an answer.
I'm not asking for Rome to be built overnight.
We've made promises and are somewhere along the line, but we've had this discussion before, Raymond, and we will continue to work on it.
Okay,
I promise you that. I've never lied to you yet.
okay.
I would like to say that I went to Raymond's Police Academy, and I really had no idea what our officers did. And after taking that, it was almost hit me in the face with a 2-by-4 what I thought went on,
It's hard to find
what
police
actually
officers.
goes on.
It's hard to find guys.
I've never had a complaint from any one of you guys where you mistreated someone, my brother, my friend, my dad, you know. So thank you for the good work that you all do. I was very impressed with that police academy.
Motion to adjourn.
Well, I'm gonna say one more thing if I can.
Merry Christmas.
I would like to wish Nelson County
We've done it every year.
a Merry Christmas.
Motion to adjourn by Bernard Ice. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Eric. All approve, say aye. Aye. Disapprove? Motion carried. Before I say something.
Comment.